this webinar is co-organized by two EDIs, two European Digital Innovation Hubs, so WALHUB and DIGITALIS, and our colleagues from CTA, based in Andalusia. My name is Thibaut van Roden. I'm working at Polmecatech, cluster in mechanical engineering based in Maronia, and it will be my pleasure to be your moderator for this morning. Just a quick view on the agenda, if the slide is working. Yes. As you can see, the agenda for today is quite packed. So we're going to try to make sure we fit in the schedule. Normally, we have, instead of 60 minutes, 65 minutes. So we expect to finish at around 10:05. But as you can see, what's foreseen in the agenda is we're going to have a slight introduction on EDIs, on Cascade funding, because it's a rather specific type of funding. And then we're going to jump right into the core element of this session, which is basically Cascade funding opportunities. 3 of them are going to be presented: the AI Regio second call by Ger from Flanders Make, the Gemstone vouchers by Sophie, my colleague, and the in-transit open calls by Sylvia from CTA. And then we're going to jump into the last part of this presentation, which is, I think, very interesting to all of you which are in the call. It's SME pitches, and here we have the pleasure to host 4 pitches that will present their ideas and their partner search. And this could be interesting if you have interest to apply to one of the 3 opportunities that's going to be presented today, or maybe other opportunities. About the housekeeping rules, that's fairly classic, I'd say. So if you're a participant, you can mute your microphone, you can ask questions at all time in the chat during the presentation, and you can open your mic if we open a round of questions, and we ask you if you have any questions, of course. And for the rest, this session is going to be recorded. I think that's it for the little, let's say, agenda introduction. I will now leave the word to Ger to tell us a bit about the EDI context and what kind of strange creatures EDIs actually are. Ger,
yeah, thank you very much, Thibaut. If you advance to the next slide. Yeah, Europe has recognized that the European industry is lagging behind in terms of digitalization. The most digitalized companies are to be found in the United States and in China, in the eastern part. So we need to do more in terms of digitalization, and Europe has installed in every member state digital innovation hubs. I think there's about 151 hubs already installed in Europe, and every member state has a few of these hubs. Many hubs are composed of different partners which are collaborating together, and all these hubs have only one purpose, and that's to improve the digital maturity of a certain target group. Can be manufacturing companies, can be companies in the pharma or the food or whatever industry, or even governmental agencies, but it's all about digitalization. All these hubs are running already for about 2 years. They are selected and co-funded by the European Commission, and they like to encourage companies to build capacity, to build digital capacity. And they have a few building blocks in every hub. It's about technological capacity, so the uptake of new digital technologies. It's also about training and finding funding also for the digital projects. And of course, these Cascade funded projects are part of this program. And we like to help you in finding financing towards the market. So you should remember that in every member state, also in the member state you are from, there are different digital innovation hubs, which are supposed to be working as a one-stop shop, kind of a counter for digitalization. And I think that's it. Thibaut.
Thank you very much, Ger. I'm gonna jump into a very short introduction on Cascade funding. It's because it's a rather, let's say, different type of subsidy. You've already partly introduced it, Ger. The Cascade funding, it's actually a subsidy coming from the kind of subsidy basically. It's coming from it's coming from the European Commission, but it's a bit different than the ones you're normally used to. You have to see it as mini call for projects which are launched basically not directly by the Commission itself, but by consortium partners that themselves have been labelized by the Commission. So this is hence you have like this image of the Cascade funding mechanism. So this means that this consortium that won European projects, they get to decide the format, the timing of the open calls they are organizing. And if you apply to these funding, you contract with this partnership. So this is, let's say, the difference. Typically, what's interesting about this funding, it's very well suited for collaborative, small collaborative projects, very close to the market. So we're speaking here about very high TRL for projects which are quite small. Typically, you can receive grants through these mechanisms, these open calls. They are very different. You can find say type of funding that can go from a couple of €1,000 to maximum €60,000 per beneficiary. So it's quite fitted to do, say, small proof of context and things like this. But you can also have voucher for travel, for example, or training. What's important also to remember is that the primary let's say target organization of this type of subsidy of funding, if you like, are SMEs most of the time. Sometimes RTO universities are also allowed. It's mostly via subcontracting in these cases, but the target group is mostly SME. And then, of course, as I mentioned, because it's a mini call for project organized by consortium, the application rooms, the eligibility rules, etc., they're very varied. They depend on the consortia. So you have to look into these opportunities, and this is why, as eddies and as cluster organization, we do the screening for you, and you explain this for you, so that you can get the information that you need to know to decide or not whether this is important and interesting for you or not. What's very important and interesting also about this funding is typically it's a really flexible type of funding. You're talking about small amounts, but this also means that the rules to apply are normally quite not very complex. Typically, if you're talking about the calls for 40 to 60,000 euros, sorry. You're talking about application forms which are not longer than 10 page, sometimes even smaller. You get a fairly quick response in between the timing that you submit and that you receive an answer. And which is also quite interesting is normally there's no financial reporting also to be done. You receive money as part of a lump sum, and you have to justify yourself in KPIs and stuff like this, but remains fairly, let's say, low administrative. So there's very limited red tape, and it's quite quickly also to get the feedback. And of course, cherry on the cake, it's not because it's European money, it's not submitted to the de minimis rules. Voila, I see time is passing by. We're on time, so we're going to jump into the main course of this webinar, which are Cascade funding opportunities. And we're going to start with AI Regio, which I believe has just launched his open call here.
Yes, Thibaut, thank you so much for the intro. The AI Regio project is all about artificial intelligence. That's what the title already says. I am working for a research organization called Flanders Make, one of the 4 strategic research centers in Flanders. And we are an active partner in this project. And I see also that my colleague Christophe is joining, so he can help me a little bit if needed. So this project is all about artificial intelligence, and more specific, bringing artificial intelligence more towards the SMEs in the European landscape. It's about artificial at the edge adoption. At the edge means that data and data collection and usage are brought more to the equipment or the machines that are producing the data and to the users of the data. And it's all about manufacturing 5.0 in SMEs. The next one, please. So this AI Regio project already runs for quite a long time. We had our first open call last year, and now we recently launched the second open call. You see that this is quite a large project. There's a lot of partners involved all across Europe. The project is managed by the University Politecnico di Milano, so in Italy. And you also see that the southern part of Europe is well represented in the project. Started in January 2023, so almost 2 years running now, and it will end next year. The European funding is about 7.5 million, so that's quite a reasonably large project with lots of partners. You can go to the next one. And the next one shows that there's quite a few European countries, member states involved. So 15 countries involved. It project runs for 3 years, 43 partners in total, and 21 experiments. And I will come back to the experiments in the next slides. There's different types of experiments. So here you see an overview of the partners all across Europe. Flanders Make is there somewhere in the middle. But there's also partners from Sweden and Denmark and Italy and Spain and etc. Next one, please. So the experiments in this call are in this project are very important, and there's basically 3 types of experiments. There's first didactic factories experiments. Those are experiments and demonstrators that are set up by the research organizations in the project, so they can be used for testing, for validation, but also for learning and training experiments, training purposes. SME-driven experiments, these are set up by the SMEs which are active in the project. And they can also be used by testing and demonstration. But the right part is the most important for now. That's the open call experiments. And the open call experiments are managed by Cascade funded project, and they are additional experiments to the project. Next one, please. I will now zoom in on the open call experiments, of course. So who can participate? All manufacturing SMEs can participate in this call. You don't need to be connected to one of the partners. You can just subscribe to a call and you can subscribe by yourself. So you don't really need additional partners for your project. An SME is defined by less than 250 employees, less than 15 million turnover, and not more than 43 million on your balance sheet. I will come back to that later, but there's only one proposal per SME will be accepted. So you can submit more, but only one will be accepted. You can also spend part of your budget to subcontracting. So if you need a partner to support you, you can do that by subcontracting, and as different costs in the project are eligible. More info can be found on the website. I will come back to that later. Yes, the next one. So the second open call, we will select 10 SME-driven experiments. So of all the submissions, 10 experiments will be selected. And of course, the topic is AI at the edge. And we will try to aim to improve existing solutions for products or processes in the manufacturing area. The funding, as Thibault already said, these are reasonably small projects, up to 60K per experiment. The call opened on 27th of September, so 1 month old now. Funding rate is 60% of your eligible costs. So the total size of the project can be about 100,000 euro. You will get a pre-financing at the start and a final payment of 50% at the end of the project. There's 2 different topics which you can subscribe to. AI at the edge applications. And by the way, everything I'm telling you now can be found on the website. We'll come back to that in the end. And it's also about the second topic is human-centric and sustainable manufacturing. The duration is 8 months. In the timing, you will see that the projects can start in April next year and will end in September next year. So just before the end of the total project. Next one. So all SMEs can apply to the call, can submit projects. You should be, of course, eligible for Horizon Europe, and only one proposal will be accepted. So you need to be based in one of the 27 member states. The project proposal must be in English, in the deadline, of course, and also via the template. The next one, there is a specific template for the project submission. Financial support up to 60,000 euro. That can be very important and can lower the threshold for your project. You can, of course, take advantage of all the expertise which is already available in the project consortium. The partners can, if needed, support you in that. It's also you can be part of the AI Regio catalog with your project. And it's of course a very innovative domain, AI at the edge. Next one. This is the timeline, but maybe we can skip this because I have a next slide on the same. Yeah, here you see the timeline in a graphical form. So in September, we opened the call in the project. 16th of December is the deadline for submission. Then there is an evaluation and selection process in January and February. And then in March, the winners, the projects will be announced, and you can start by the 1st of April, somewhere like that. And the experiments need to be finalized by 30th of September next year. When you look at the website of the project, you will see all different types of forms. There's a guide for applicants. Everything I have been saying can be found in there. Then there is an FAQ document. You will find answers to most of your questions in the document and a proposal template. And as Thibaut already said, submitting a proposal is fairly easy. Only 10 pages of project proposal. So it's quite condensed as well. And the template can be found on the website. And if you go to the next slide, you will see where the website is, and also that the partners in the project, being myself and my colleague of Flanders Make, we can of course support you in managing the submission process. So if you need any more information, you have any more questions which cannot be found on the website, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks a lot, Thibaut. That should be it.
Thank you very much, Ger, for the presentation. Very clear. I think we have time for a couple of questions, and there's one in the chat I see from Laurent. It's actually is this only dedicated to manufacturing industry, the calls, or can also, I guess the question of Laurent is also, if can tech providers also take part and apply to the call?
Well, maybe Christophe can answer that. Christophe, I think it's also possible for tech providers, but maybe you can go into a little bit more detail.
Yes, tech providers for companies that are in the manufacturing industry are also possible, but there needs to be a link with manufacturing industry. So if you are not yourself in the manufacturing industry, but you are a tech provider for the manufacturing industry, that is fine also. So the definition is quite loose. And if the project is well defined and if it is a nice project proposal, that is no problem. So I was just wondering, from what industry are you in? Are you really completely out of the manufacturing, but are you somewhat related to it? So that makes a difference. But if you are not yourself a part of the manufacturing industry, but you're related to the manufacturing industry, that is fine.
Yeah. I think the partner in question is already working with the manufacturing industry, or he has different customers in manufacturing industry.
Then it's no problem at all.
There's no problem.
Yeah.
So there's another question I see from Thibaut Viam is asking if it's possible to do a consortium with another company from Flanders as two tech providers. To have two tech providers. Basically, one tech provider from Wallonia, one tech provider from Flanders, and to address an industrial customer outside of the EU, for example. So you have one, let's say, Flemish company that would apply, plus one Walloon company that would apply, both tech providers, and they work on a, let's say, industrial use case from, I don't know, whatever, Morocco or Algeria, for example. Like
yes,
in the gap.
that is possible. That is not a problem at all. I would also advise within the project, there are also webinars that will be organized, and you can find it on LinkedIn. And in those webinars, you can also ask these kind of questions to the people who are running the call. But what you say there is not a problem, I think.
Yeah. And just to push it more, I don't know if you had the answer, but if this so probably the costs of these Belgian companies can be involved in the framework of the voucher, but I guess the costs from, let's say, if the end user is outside of the EU, the costs from this end user, do you think they can be fit in the project or not? Or it's only for European?
I'm doubtful about.
Yeah.
That is some question to be asked to the. You can also ask the questions to me, and I can relay it to the people who organize the call. But I'm doubtful about that.
Okay, thank you so much. But that's quite clear already, and it's good news also from Thibaut, who asked his question in the in the chat. There's two more, and then so one is around it's Martin from Martin here is asking if two companies want to make a project together, does one need to be declared as subcontractor, or can you have two partners basically equally as equal partners in the call?
I have to be honest that I'm not completely sure about this, so I will have to ask.
Okay.
But I think it should be possible, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, thank you, thanks. And one last one before we jump in, because it's a very simple question from Marco. He's eager to know. It's a very good question, actually. What the success rate of the last call was, because this is quite an incentive also to to know if you have to do the extra mile in the effort to take a shot, basically.
I don't know the numbers by heart, but I have the impression you also saw the numbers. I think there were 70 applications last time, and 10 were selected, something like that.
Yeah, that's correct. 67 submissions and 10 selected. Yeah.
Yes, and that's and some of them will resubmit. I have the impression that some of them will resubmit because they had a good proposal, but yeah, they fell out of the first 10. So the chances, it's reasonable.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the answers and the information about the calls, and also for the questions. So I think for what the answers were, it's very interesting also because that gives an at least possibility for the participant also to get in the calls, because the eligibility rules seem to be quite favorable also to the case in the question that we've had. We're going to move now. There's a couple of other questions in the chat, but what I suggest is that we move to the other call and then we'll take them a bit later on. We're going to move now to the second opportunity today, which is for some of you a project that you might know. It's a project where Mecatech is involved as a partner. So we're going to tell you now about Gemstone, and for this I leave the word to my colleague Sophie.
Hello everybody. So I will inform you about a very quick opportunity about exploring or training your staff. These are small vouchers, about 1,500 euros, or 2,000 euros for training your staff or exploring some opportunities outside your country. So to participate to trade fairs, missions, and international events in Europe or outside Europe, or train your staff to the green manufacturing topics that could be soft skills or hard skills in legal aspects, in technical aspects of the green manufacturing. These are opportunities that are still open up to the end of this year, and you can participate to an event or a training until the end of March to be eligible. We provided two useful tools or documents. The first one is the guide for applicants, so you have all the explanation of these open calls, and also a dynamic portfolio of train, innovate, explore opportunities. But of course, you are free to suggest your own event or training to be financed. It is a very a small questionnaire you have to fill in to apply for these calls, to inform about your company, about the opportunity what you want to finance, and the impact of the exploration or the training you guess for your company. We had next slide. Yes, we had the testimony of the company Cold Pressing. I have to apologize, Nicolas, don't know who cannot participate finally, but he transmit me some information about this opportunity. He benefited from a 2,000 euro for training his staff in Italy for specific equipment he bought. And he told me that it was a good opportunity to train its IT engineers on specific solution on the market and become more competitive, and to test with the supplier and experts the quality of the integration and solution developed over many months in Belgium. And finally, to interact with project manager directly on site. This opportunity gave his staff new skills in 3 days of training in Italy. And it could also, thanks to this program, benefit from some support for the process. It was quite easy to complete the questionnaire, and to support the monitoring and transmission of accounting documents was also okay. So he recommended you to use this opportunity, very useful for companies in the green transition. So it is the objective, of course, of the Gemstone program, where it is a program, an Eurocluster program, where Mecatech is also involved with 6 other European clusters.
Thank you very much, Sophie. We might have time to take another question. I think that is there another question that was not answered on the chat?
Yes, it was about the opportunity of the AI radio and the possibility to finance a POC. So product, if the project must be already developed, it is possible to fund development as well.
So that's a question to Christophe. Yeah.
No, that is no problem at all.
Okay, so that's possible to fund a development also.
Yeah, certainly.
So it seems it's a good day for you, Thibaut. Apparently, yeah. It's you get a yes for both of your questions. Okay, I think there's no more questions yet. Okay, so we move on. We're going to move to sunny Spain, sunny Andalusia, I should say, because we're moving to the last Cascade funding opportunities that we're going to present today. And we have the pleasure here to welcome our colleagues from the CTA cluster. Sylvia is with us, and I'm going to leave Sylvia present you a call which is called In Transit, that has organized already a first batch of calls, and which is about to launch a set of new ones. But I'm not going to spoil. I'm going to leave the floor to Sylvia now to explain us about the opportunities related to In Transit. Sylvia, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, both. Thank you very much for inviting us to this session. I'm going to explain to introduce you the developed call for the In Transit project. You can see that there that is of the first call, because we have not opened the second one, but it will be open very soon. That's why and it could be quite similar to the first one. That's why we are presenting here this project. Can you go ahead? The objective of the In Transit project is to support the objective of the Green Deal, to increase the resilience of the SMEs and to strengthen the innovation between different ecosystems and generate also the cross-regional and cross-sectoral fertilization. The project is focused. Can you go to the next one? It's focused on four different sectors: aerospace, advanced manufacturing, textile, and construction. Okay, this is the fourth sector that we are going to connect and improve. Okay, and the first step that we made it is to make some some activities and industry assessment. We have been also prepare open innovation space where the SMEs can exchange their information. You will see in our website. We have also customized the advisory of the services that we provide and providing funding from the FSTP funds from the European Commission, the Cascade funding. And we have also a strong activity in coaching in different vouchers. And at the end, we have some activities to improve the resilience of the companies, making some dissemination activities and so on. If you go to the next one, I will explain more the pathway that we are following with the different participants. You are able to participate in innovative activities where we have learning expedition. We have had some active sessions with SME to know each other. We have had 2 calls of the Innovate voucher, that are voucher for coaching services. Unfortunately, both are closed. We are currently giving the second services for the second call. We have one voucher that is focused on that is called Develop. That is the one that has the funds. That is the first step that we have. And the last one is the Scale Up, where we give visibility of the most valuable projects. Okay, you go to the next one. I'm going to give you a snapshot of the presentation. Go to the next slide, please. Can you go to this? Okay. This is the
one? Yeah.
no, this one. Okay.
Okay.
As I have said, we try to support the SMEs in different topics that are interested: Industry 5.0, business model, digital transformation, circular economy, and we have designed a good portfolio of sessions that are taking place during September and October, where the SME that are beneficiary of the Innovate voucher are participating. Okay, if we go to the next one, go. Okay, we have a lot of on-site activities. Okay, we have having in transit clarify workshop at the beginning of the project. We have having matchmaking and info days in Barcelona at the beginning of the project, and we have been doing learning expedition. We have made it one in Slovenia for construction sector. We made it one here in Seville and in Cádiz with the aerospace sector. We're going to have, I think, in the next days, the learning expedition to Barcelona to know the textile sector, and we will have at the end in November we will have the learning expedition to Athens, to Greece, to learn about the space sector again. Okay, so these activities, we have bonus for going there. We have launched our calls. I think that the call for the traveling are closed currently, but if you want to join the expedition paying the travel, I think that you are on time to request. Okay, go ahead to the next one. This one, please. This is the call timing that we have had during the project. You can see that we have the 2 Innovate calls. The first Develop one for projects. Okay, the Develop is the one that finance project up to 49k euros. And the second call is going to open at the beginning of November. It's expected on the 4th. Okay, I cannot write, but I can say it. So you can follow this project. And the idea of the project is to the mechanisms of the projects are those one. Okay, we have more than 3 million euros to spend to the SMEs. We have spent all the time that we have in the Innovate. We are doing right now. The Develop one, we are going to finance 60 beneficiaries. We have currently around 25. Okay, we in this Develop voucher, what you have to do is to propose a project. And we can finance up to 49k per SME, or if the project is in consortium of 2 SMEs in Europe, you can go up to 98K. Okay. You will also have some coaching activities in order to support you in improvement of your projects, and you have to execute this kind of project during 4th month. Okay, I will show you later more information. We also have incubate activities, as you have said, the travel vouchers that I think that now they are closed. But if you want to join to our expeditions, you can ask. Okay, go ahead with the next one. I have said we have the in-transit budget for the call. We have a second call of the develop with 1.5 million euros to distribute. Okay, the idea of this is to present projects that could generate synergies between the sector, that could would increase the resilience of any of the sectors, and also to demonstrate that they will have a sustainability of the sector. They are good for the sustainability in the sector. We are very open with the topic because we want to support the needed of the SMEs in Europe. If you go again, if you go to the next one, please. The next one is coming soon. Let's go. 4th of November. The next one, please.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a bit of delay.
This is some information about the call. Okay. This is information from the first call, but it could be mostly the same. I updated some deadlines, but it's okay. The applicants have to be SMEs or 2 SMEs, individual or in consortium, from 2 different sectors. Okay, if they are in collaboration. But each SME may submit only 1 proposal. This is very important because if you submit 2, both of them will be out of the competition. Okay, we had several cases in the last call, so you only can submit 1 per SME. The scope of the funding has been said. Is lump sum is a very easy model of financing because if you do the job, we give you directly the fund. You do not need to do a very strong justification. The supported area is to develop, to implement, innovations and technical demonstrations or new business model or our value chain for one of the 4 areas that we have in the project: aerospace, construction, advanced manufacturing, or textile. Okay, you have to execute the project in 4 months, and in the second call we estimate that we are going to finance 30 SME. I have seen in the chat that you have some question regarding the rate of the success rate. I have to say that we have a very strong competition, but I think that if your project is good, you can go beyond that. We had in the first call around 125 proposal, and 30 were and more or less 25 were funded. Okay, this is more the ratio, but I think that it's important to apply because you will have opportunities. If you go to the next one, please. Okay, this is the eligibility condition. You have to be an SME according with the definition of the European Commission. You must be established in one of the 27 EU member states. The application should be in English. The SME should apply to the call as a consortium. If you are preparing a proposal in consortium, only one of the SMEs should fill the proposal, the leader of the proposal. You cannot accumulate more funding than 50K if you are participating in the different vouchers for travel vouchers and the proposal and so on. I repeat that only one SME can apply to 1 proposal, and the application should be sent through our system that will be available soon. Okay, let's go. This was also information for the first call, but I think that we are going to maintain that way I'm explaining here. We can finance only costs generated during the project. The SME can finance internal costs regarding staff, regarding other direct costs like travel, equipment, only depreciation, consumables, ACT, and indirect costs that the flat rate is 25, is fixed. Okay, subcontract is allowed to research center, university, institute, living labs or large company, but is limited. Okay, if your subcontracting is over 40%, it should be really well justified in the proposal. Okay, because the objective of this kind of financing is to support the SMEs directly. You go to the next one. This is a snapshot of the evaluation criteria that we had in the first call. We are evaluating excellence, quality, implementation, potential impact. Okay, and if you have been able to participate in the Innovate voucher, you have extra point for passing this service. But in this case, probably most of you will not be able, because our Innovate call, both of them are closed. Okay, so you have to pass the threshold of the evaluation criteria, the 70% in each of the criteria. You can see the maximum given to all of them. You can see that in the excellence we improve the scientific and technical quality, the innovation potential and feasibility of the project. In the implementation, we evaluate the coherence of the effectiveness of the work plan, the composition and competence of the teams, and the risk management procedure. And the potential impact, we evaluate the economic and the road to market in the impact. The social impact is also included. And if you have cross-sectorial or cross-border experts, it could be also evaluated. Okay. This is more or less the timeline of the evaluation procedure. We will have the submission. The submission of the proposal will be open up until January of this year. In January, at the beginning, we will do the eligibility check. The proposal that would pass could go to the external expert evaluation, and we will prepare the individual report and one preliminary ranking report. Then all the proposal could pass the ethical advisory board that is now mandatory for the European Commission. And if you pass, you could go directly to the evaluation committee review, and we will have a final ranking list that could be published at the end of February. And in February, at middle end February, and at the end of February, we will publish the final winners. Okay, and between final February and March, we will prepare the contracts, and you will start in April. Okay, and this voucher also have some coaching services to the company that could be involved regarding anything that you will need. Okay, business model, technology readiness level, what you need. Okay, you have 50 hours of coaching for free that could be given by the partners. The monitoring and reporting is very easy. We will prepare a template. We have a template where you have to explain the technical work that you have done, to give an overview of more or less the expenses that you have, but we do not need any kind of cost sheet and so on. And it would be very easy to do it, because we have a platform where you can put everything on there, and you can do it very easily. We are currently in the period of justification of the first call of develop. Okay, so go to the next one. Only to know how will be the payments. We will pay in euros. Okay. You will have to sign a contract if you are finally a winner. You have to justify the course including the implementation. If you are collaborating with another company, you should present in the application the consortium agreement. Okay. We will make the payment according with the estimation that you would give in the proposal. Of course, if you send it, it's not if you submit an application that constitutes your entitlement of funding, and the beneficiaries with the European Commission should follow the rollout of the European Commission funds regarding WALHUB and ECA. Okay, let's go. How to apply? Okay, we're going to publish the call in this website. It's the website of the project. It's only one step submission. You have to do the application should we are now defining this, but this is the information of the first call. It will be mostly this. An administrative form where you have to file directly information. Be very careful including this information, because if we have some incoherence between the application in the administrative part and the project, the project would not be financed. Okay. You will have a technical part, only 10 pages, very easy, and an Excel file. And of course, you can download all the application in the websites. And if you need something, we have an email to answer your questions. Okay, this is more or less all. We will have a lunch. We will have a lunch event of the call. And we have in the website of the In Transit project a community that you can join, and you will be able to receive. If you go to the website of the In Transit, you will see that there is a community where you can enter the name of your company, your skill, and you can look for partner if you need to apply, and you will receive all the information that we send off the call directly to the people in the community. And for me, that's all. Thank you very much. I don't know if there is any question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sylvia, for the presentation. We're a bit behind schedule, but thank you so much. It doesn't matter because the information you give is it's, let's say, exclusive information you give here, because as you understood, the call has not been published yet. The date is not set exactly yet, but this is good because you see it's coming pretty soon. So you have the timing in advance to think about it, and also to think and to start preparing also about possible ideas and exchange about this.
Yeah, Thibault, I strongly recommend you to go to the website and to explore the community and to see the information, because there are information about the beneficiaries of the first call, and I think that could be very inspiring for the different SMEs.
Yeah, and also to collect, from what I understand, extra, let's say, percentage on the market also, because that's relatively, if you have a lot of application, that's a relatively key point to make to increase the chances from the Walloon, Flemish / French, or other all nationalities that are present in the call with us today. So yeah, thank you so much. We have to jump into the pitches. I think there's a couple of questions from Christophe.
Yes, I wanted to still come back on the AI Regio call. There was a question about should we be partners or subcontractors, and primarily it is aimed at subcontracting if you want to be with more than one company. I have not seen in the text that partners are allowed, so I guess it is more about subcontracting. So if you are with two companies, best that one is the official participant and the other is in subcontracting mode.
Thank you very much. Very useful information, I think, also to Thibault, which was asking this question earlier on in the call. I'd like to jump now and start with the pitches. We're a little bit late, but please try to extend a little bit with us, because typically in this type of session, this is the most important and interesting part also, I think, to get also ideas. We have 4 pitches that are going to be presented, and the first pitch is from the company DT Services and Consulting with Marco. Marco, are you with us? Hi, Marco.
Hi.
I leave you the floor is yours, and then you have, let's say, 3 minutes to present your company and your idea, basically.
Thank you, Thibault. Hello, everyone. This is Marco from Brussels. So I am here today as CTO of DTSC, a company based in Belgium, founded in 2019. We are in the scale-up phase. We grow pretty substantially last year. I would say all of my colleagues are a consulting profile. So we are active in continuous improvement, agile and Scrum, project management, these kind of things. And since last June, we started a new pillar, which is artificial intelligence. So I'm directing this new group since last June. And so to mention a few numbers, we have over 50 clients, mostly in the Benelux region. And after a small calculation, we could say we saved them almost 30 million euros all in total. So regarding the artificial intelligence group, we are setting up this group, which has the aim of being a bridge between the academic world and our clients. So we really want to be a pure research group. And so we are working on things such as digital twins for railways and transportation in general, reinforcement and active learning in the healthcare world, but also stock predictions for supply chain and automatization and standardization in HR and public sector in general. So why are we here? Because we are looking for collaborations. So we are already members of Trail, which is a Belgian initiative including the trusted research on artificial intelligence, hence the acronym. And so we are looking for partners in academia, such as engineering department, Internet of Things lab, artificial intelligence, informatics, and so on. But also research centers working on digital manufacturing and anything which has a direct business impact. We also are open to collaborations with private companies and collaborators. And yeah, we are basically interested in any kind of public funding, the usual suspect, Horizon Europe, Digital Europe, and so on and so forth. And of course, the three, I think that all of the three Cascade funding which have been presented so far are somehow in one way or another useful. So we will definitely be interested in partnering up for applying. So you have the QR code are towards my LinkedIn profile and the TSC LinkedIn profile. So don't hesitate to connect, and I'll be happy to get in touch with you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marco, for the pitch. Perfectly on time, 3 minutes sharp. Most important thing, the contact address and the QR link to get in touch with you for the next step. So if you're interested, you hear Marco's pitch, get in touch with Marco. And also one thing I want to add is we're going to transmit the slide decks that I presented today, because it's a lot of information, a lot of links. So don't worry if you're missing a bit of info at some point, or you're going to receive the slides that have been presented today, including the contact data of the different persons that are going to pitch. I'm jumping because I see we are a little behind schedule to the next pitch, which is a pitch from Additics. We're going to change a sector, I believe, and I leave the floor now to Additics. I don't know if you're ready to take the floor.
Yes, do you hear me?
I think it's Miguel from Additics. Yes, Miguel, we hear you.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you very much for all the presentation. It was very interesting. First, I will begin with a short introduction. My name is Miguel Arro. I'm officer engineer in the Belgian Army. I'm also expert for 3D printing in the NATO and European Defense Agency. And I created last year a small company in innovation consultancy. And we are now working on a concept, an idea that we call Additics for additive excellence. What's Additics? Additics is an online platform that will allow to electrics repair companies and technicians to purchase some spare parts. But the innovative character of the platform is that the spare parts are going to be manufactured via 3D printing as close as possible from the buyer. That's the innovative character of the platform. Then there are 4 pillars composing Additics. The first one is a digital inventory of the spare parts. Then the goal is to avoid physical inventory and all related energetical problems for storage. The other pillar is the creation of network, decentralized and distributed network of manufacturers. Then the goal is to create a huge network to be able to have a local manufacturing as close as possible from the purchaser. Another pillar is the quality management. Then it's logical that the goal is to have spare parts with the same quality and security as the original ones. And last pillar is the protection of the intellectual property, because it's for me the condition to work with OEMs that are going to trust us and give us all information to prepare the digital inventory. Then Additics, it's a platform that is going to manage, coordinate all these pillars and stakeholders. And the goal of Additics is to enable a digital strategy, for the right to repair additive manufacturing. We speak a lot of right to repair for the moment. I think it's a very important movement. And the goal of Additics is to help and to disrupt the actual supply chain in spare parts. Then the goal today for us is to have some information or tips from you to create a POC, a proof of concept, and also a MVP. The goal is next year to create these 2 tools to be able to grow with this idea, this concept in the future. Thank you very much. I don't know if it was clear. I'm a little bit ill today, then I'm perhaps not very efficient with my English, but
Thank you very much, Miguel, for the pitch. Is here a clear call to develop like an MVP and a POC. What we'll do is, I think the only thing missing is there's not your contact data, but what we'll do is you've provided an email address. If it's okay with you, I'll put it on the slide that you presented, so that everyone that is interested to get in touch with you to discuss future POCs in the framework of these 3 calls or other calls, that can basically get in touch with you. So we'll add this so they can contact you.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll now moving on to France, I believe, with Olivier, who's going to talk about a project idea from TalkMe.
Yes, sorry, it's not Olivier, it's Nicolas. I'm the founder
Nicolas.
of the TalkMe companies. The TalkMe company has developed a software, MES, a manufacturing execution system software. So his name is TEM Factory. Is the most request industry of the industry for 5.0, 4.0. The software is very economical in code, and it's what the market, it's an attempt of the market. And it's important for us, the software was co-constructed with the production workshop teams. So it's why we need manufacturing industry, we need an end user to test our ID, our project ID. So the project is based on the TEM Factory polymorphic software. So it's very easy to this software to adapt to the process of any industry and manufacturing. And with universal box, we can collect all the different data from the machines. And we can, with all these data, with the AI and with an algorithm, to have an intelligent planning to suggest planification. So if you want to come into the adventure with us, we can work together.
Thank you very much, Nicolas. I can add also to your pitch that you experienced also in Cascade funding, so you know it works. You've been successfully developing a proposal, so that's also always a good extra point.
Yes, we work on other projects, a European project like Gemstone for the green manufacturing in Bulgaria.
Thank you so much. So very clear. If you've seen a project idea, you want to get in touch with Nicolas to develop together AI Regio, In Transit, or Gemstone, or you name it. Other type of project, the data is just below the slide. Moving to the last, not the least, pitch. It's actually, if I understand correctly from Laurent, it's a common pitch. From two companies, from Phoenix AI, which is intervening also with the port of Antwerp. So it's Laurent and Wouter. I don't know who's beginning. Laurent, I guess you're beginning the pitch.
I'll be beginning, yes.
Yes. Okay.
So thanks very much for giving us the floor today with our prestigious customer and partner, the Port of Antwerp. So we're here with WALHUB, which is the digital infrastructure manager of the port. We're a scale-up company from Wallonia. We're members from the Mecatech network. We're 7 years old. We are active in the EMEA region in various sectors with large companies and public sector. We're specialists about edge AI and more precisely about NVIDIA embedded GPUs. We supply turnkey all-in-one edge AI solutions through distributors and partners. So the thing is, we supply, as you can see it, we supply boxes, which are small electronic boards, small PCBs in an enclosure, to be very close from camera and to be able to complement any camera and make it smarter. So basically, each of our box can handle up to 4 camera streams. And the big thing is we could put into those boxes best-in-class, state-of-the-art deep learning for use cases. Next slide, please. So just for your good understanding, we started this company to be able to, once again, complement an existing network of cameras. Here, for instance, 4 cameras connected to this kind of box. We can benefit from having local IOs directly on the box to directly alert through, for instance, LED lights, audio alerts, and stuff like this. We have also a very extensive storage in there, so we can store up to 35 days of continuous content. We are also able to discuss in real time with cloud APIs, with IT servers, or what is called VMS, so video management system. But at the end of the day, this is not mandatory. Most of our customers are wanting to use our systems in a standalone network. Next slide, please. So before giving the floor to Wouter, I just wanted to let you know something about this case here. So this was not funded by the EU. This was funded by the port itself. And this is one of our most prestigious contracts. I'll give the floor to Wouter. Wouter, please.
Good morning. Just to give a short impression what we did together with Phoenix AI. So we were looking for a solution to detect vessels at the port. We have radar, which does a good thing. It can detect if there's something. We have AIS, which can say that's that vessel, but not every vessel has an AIS label. So for the security in the port, and especially for the works which are going on around Oosterweel, it was important to know which vessels are in the port. So together with Laurent and Phoenix AI, we developed a model which could detect vessels within the port and also could place it within the space and time, which is of course critical. After that, we did a check with is there any AIS detected or not. or can we identify it via AIS? If not, it will generate an alarm directly to Milestone or into our own platform so that the operator knows there is a vessel which we couldn't identify, but yeah, we need to be able to know that there is something, and maybe we could communicate via radio. So that was especially the case. Why did we do it via Edge? Because a lot of our cameras and other components are really located in edge locations at the port. So at locations without network or things like that. And that's why the edge was a plus to develop. So just to give a short impression, I don't know if that's enough, Laurent, but I think...
It's very good, Walter. Just wanted to emphasize one last thing. This case is also promoted on a global scale by NVIDIA because, as you probably understood it, we're working with small devices that are pretty good green computing devices, 7 watts per stream. So with 7 watts per stream, this is exactly what we can achieve thanks to a great expertise from Flanders, combined with great expertise from Wallonia. And the big thing is it is working seamlessly between edge devices and the IT infrastructure from Walter. Thank you so much. Thanks, Walter.
Many thanks to both of you. I think most important, we have the contact data of Phoenix AI. From what you presented, you seem to be a very interesting also candidate for the AI Regio also call for project. So yeah, thank you so much for the idea. And here is the contact data, and hope you'll get in touch also with different participants also from the call and interested partners. That's it from our side. We're slightly behind schedule, so I'm going to be quite quick in the contact and the conclusions. There's lots of, from what you understood, we presented let's say 3 type of opportunities related to Cascade funding, but there's more to these. But here in this slide that you will receive, you find contact data of the related call that you're interested in. Also, what you need to know is there's in the framework of what Ger has presented in the introduction, so through the EDIs, but the digital innovation hubs, sorry, you can get support. And typically, if you're a Walloon SME, or you can get support from us to work on, let's say, on your project idea, to work further on your project idea, to check, for example, your proposal. This is something that's done in the case of Wallonia, which is done free of charge, thanks also to the support that we get from WALHUB. So some of you have experienced already, you're in the call. So that's possibly also a next step for you. You can feel free to get in touch with us if you're from Wallonia, to get in touch with Ger if you're from Flanders. To work, you can get support, additional support to work on, let's say, your ideas. I'm not going to get into this because we're a bit late of time. That's more detailed information of the support you can get. But this is also, I think, an important let's say call to action for you. You've seen the dates, so we're early enough, I think, for Cascade funding for you to prepare application. You have still a bit of time, but you still need to, let's say, to act fast if you want to go forward. So the next call to action is to look it up for you, contact people that you've seen today if you have an interest, and get back to us if you to get additional support and to work on this on these proposal. We can help you with this. That's it, I think, from my side. I would like to thank you very much for being with us this morning, for having listened and to have stayed a bit over time. I would like to thank specifically our speakers, Ger, Sophie, Sylvia, all the people that have agreed also to do a pitch and to share their ideas. Thank you so much for your trust and for your interest in what we've organized so far. And with this, I think that I'm done. The only thing that rests is to wish you an excellent morning, and let's stay in touch for very good adventures soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much, Thibaut and Sophie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.